If you watch part 1 of this series, then you know that QBRs are broken. They're boring, they're a waste of time, and quite frankly, they're not delivering the results that you need. But here is the thing. If QBRs are done right, they can be one of the most powerful tools that you have to be able to grow client revenue, to expand accounts, and to build unshakable client relationships. So in part 2, we're diving into the solutions. I'm joined by James Ward from Clientshare, and he's going to show you exactly how to transform your business reviews from dreaded admin tasks into high-impact strategic growth engines. We'll cover the 3-pillar business review framework that's working for top-performing account management teams right now, as well as practical steps you can implement to maximize value and save you a ton of time. Now, if you haven't already checked out part 1, I will pop a link in the description, but don't worry, you can absolutely jump right into this episode and get massive value. So let's fix those QBRs once and for all. Why do you think people should be taking another look at their business review strategy? Having a look at what they can do to kind of leverage these QBRs more effectively? Like, is there enough value? Is it worth their time?
So we often see our customers more visually on Teams. Let's have a quick call. You're on my Teams channel, you're on my Slack channel. There is a closer proximity of operational relationships between buyers and suppliers than there was before.
Yeah.
Conversely, there is less formality than there was before. Seeing people in person less. Now, what that also means is those moments that matter, that cherished moment where you get to step out, it means that meeting has become actually elevated. It's become more important than ever. And the organizations that get that and are going, do you know what, we're going to nail these meetings, are the ones that are coming away with 2 things. One, they're coming away with proper margin protection at renewal because they're more valued. And 2, they're coming away with expansion, white space selling an organization. So that's the change. The world's changed in terms of how we meet people. These meetings are more than ever, and therefore you need to perform.
And that book of evidence is how you retain your customers. That's how you increase prices, because you can demonstrate that you've added value all along. So actually now's the time that you're probably going to have to raise some prices to continue to add that value. It's sort of like the storybook that underpins the whole relationship. So even though they're a pain in the neck to produce and, there's definitely opportunities to improve them, you can't just neglect them, contract or not.
I'd probably say one of the most important things you can do as an organization is get your head around measuring, right? Get your head around measuring. Nearly any company can measure their SLAs. They can measure their KPIs, their cash collection, everything to do with an account. I bet they can measure their sales pipeline, but you should be able to measure the efficiency, the effectiveness of your QBRs. You need to know which accounts need to have a business review. And then under all those accounts, you should know, has it happened? Who attended? Were the actions followed up on? Did the customer rate our performance in that QBR? And did we get any feedback? Because if you measure that in a simple, easy way across hundreds of accounts, you will get warning signs galore about where you need to focus your time to avoid attrition. And you will get some wonderful euphoric signs about where you need to focus your time to grow your business. If you can't measure it, then you're going to struggle insofar as how you nail what's going on across the entire customer base.
For me, I would say every business review should be highly curated, super targeted. Every page should answer the question, what now? Or what next? If that page doesn't give those 3 things from the customer's perspective, pull it out or go back and rethink about it again. And the what next should be impactful. I've been in reviews where many reviews where my account managers have recommended all these actions, and that'll save you £300. I'm like, £300 for a client that spends 5 million? Like, the pain versus gain kind of needs to be 10x. Is it worth getting out of bed for? Put a recommendation that's meaningful. And if it's not worth anybody investing time or not going to make a material impact, don't mention it. Don't put it in there. Put it in the appendix. I'm going to give you all the data in the back. It's all steady state. But the things I want to focus on are these, where we can optimize, drive performance, get better results.
When it comes to data, organizations must start looking to use data visualization tools.
Yeah.
So for example, whether it's Tableau, Power BI, they should have a 1-page, 2 maximum report for a QBR for every single customer that is just presented to the account manager. And there's tools, funny enough, like Clientshare that enables you to take all these builder bricks in, but that's one key thing. The next thing I say you must get right is your content. 80% of content that marketing share doesn't ever reach a client in B2B. Okay. The reason is a lot of the time key account managers don't know where to find it. They're too busy. They're not sure it's the right information. And sometimes they're quite concerned that if they're pressed on it by the customer, they won't be able to talk adeptly about it. So the best tools enable an account manager to automatically, or marketing to automatically input that data into a QBR, not a slide 52 at the very end. So we talk about our AI platform, our latest acquisition, because no one's going to talk about it. But if one of these building blocks, so almost an account manager has almost got these blocks, and the customer can then go, let's go and have a look at this one. Let's take a look at this lens. And then the next thing that needs to be on there is the ability for a customer to give you feedback. They need to be able to just put feedback in after the meeting, submit it, and it's tracked, logged, and registered. And that should be done in seconds, not for the account manager to upload. The next thing is the customer needs to be able to score. The customer must be able to, after a QBR, just give you some basic net promoter score and then some CSAT scores or CES scores that are standardized across every single account. And then we're heading here towards, there needs to have the right branding, the management, the tools will enable you to do that. Then what this leads us to at the end of it is all the account manager really should be doing is creating the 2 or 3 slides, or whatever format you wish to call them, that drive a better business conversation. Yeah. That is normally the best ones we see, one page for 1 hour. It's one time talking about key successes, key opportunities, where we want to spend our time, any challenges, that type of thing, and it differs from company to company, but those building blocks, we cannot, as an industry, continue just to expect, as you said earlier, Warwick, account managers with 20 accounts, some have even more, be putting all this together. You've got to give them the blocks, and then they go and do what they do best, which is the 2 or 3 bits at the top that is where their expertise level is. So yes, I'm really passionate about measuring all of this, but I'm equally as passionate about making sure that you give account managers time back and quality reviews get built. And if you allow me to add a third one.
Yeah, please.
Talking in threes about what really then matters is the experience of the customer. The research we've seen is that on average, key people don't turn up. So if you get the building blocks right, you have a better reason for people to turn up, because they can access the information, have a better business conversation. And then you'll see a transformation in how people behave in QBRs, who turns up from both sides, and the results you get. So getting the right people there isn't just about asking them to be there. You've got to give them the right experience. And the right experience is often getting the right tools to deliver the meeting, getting the content out beforehand, all the stuff that we know, but too often people are doing it at the last minute because they haven't got the tools to put it together in the first place. So they're the sort of 3 areas. Get it measured properly, get the building blocks in place. As I said, that's, things like data viz, Power BI, CSAT, customer scores, feedback, and just a very short summary. And then lastly, making sure the customer experience of how it's delivered is superb.
Sounds like heaven. I mean, the idea of just really trimming it back to the basics, get a nice dashboard, a scorecard for the essentials, and a couple of pages of some key recommendations, maybe a top 3, and really focus on the conversation about how the past should inform the future, not just lingering in ancient history. And I think this is where a lot of account managers go wrong, is they ask questions during the review that they could have found out the answer to beforehand. And that can really burst your balloon, which is why I'm a big fan of sending the review in advance with some pre-reading, some pre-work. Send it a day, 3 days before. A, it will make you accountable to get it done in time, but B, client comes prepared. They've read it all. I used to think, well, that's going to steal my thunder while I present then. But I'm not looking to present the information. I want to have a discussion. I want to talk about what we can do with the information I've shared. Not just, oh, did you know this year you spent 10% more than last year? I'd rather they knew that before they turned up at the meeting, not just revealed at the time, because it gives them time to do some work as well. What would you say to somebody, okay, they're listening to this and they're like, okay, you know what, you're right, I need to get my shit sorted when it comes to QBRs. What would you say is like some initial practical first steps? Top 3 things you think they should do if they're like starting, taking another fresh look at their current QBR structure?
First thing I do is look at all my accounts and understand where do I actually need to do QBRs and where do I not need to do QBRs.
Mm-hmm.
That's top step number one. Step number two is standardize. Now, whether you use a tool like Clientshare or whether you standardize in whatever format you want, just standardize the way that you create, the way that you deliver, the way you present, the way you measure everything, and the way you act and feedback and actions from the review. So just standardize everything you possibly can. And then the third one is measure. So that those three steps, there's many different ways you can go, but those three steps will give you control. When you have,
I love that.
You can then have influence, and when you have influence, you can then use that to go and drive growth in your business.
Yeah, I love that. So auditing the accounts, see, not only who needs a QBR, I mean, I think everyone needs a QBR of some sort, but not all QBRs are created equal. Not the smallest client does not need a 60-slide deck. It could be a one-pager, and you just might email it 4 times a year. So just or twice a year, whatever, but have a look at who gets them and in what context, what needs are there for the different segments that you have. The idea of standardization, brilliant. I mean, because what I find is a lot of account managers hate the reviews, so they just create their own. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to do this and this and this. And the client says, well, I hate it like this. I want it like this. And then every single one is customized. And I used to say to my team, your job is not to reinvent the things that are wrong with the review. You need to use the tools that you're given. And then we will together as a team build a business case for changes to that. But I don't want you creating 10 different slides because you hate the way these ones look or the client doesn't like them. That's not how we go. Everyone gets the same review. If we don't like it, we put the business case forward so that everybody gets another version of the review or enhancements to the review versus 10 account managers all deciding they're going to do their own thing, because that's chaos. And then measuring, implementing some of those things we talked about already. All right, love it. So let's wrap this up with a rapid fire round. Quick 5 questions, right? What's one thing you wish people would stop doing at QBRs?
I wish the buyers would just be really honest and say, do you know what? You manage our facilities. You're a great supplier. Do a brilliant job and we'll look after you. So
love it.
The word partnership.
I hadn't thought about it in those terms, but you're right. I mean, it is kind of overused. And yeah, sometimes you're just a supplier. What's the most overrated QBR best practice?
Let's bring in beef, cheese, Michael, Mary, and think that that's going to wow someone.
Oh yeah, I love that. Dragging people along to meetings that they're not really at.
Roll out the red carpet. We've got the big chiefs in town this month. Let's see if we can shove them into any QBRs we've got in the city this month.
Yeah.
And then you turn up at the QBR and there's the local site manager there to meet with the C-suite.
Yeah.
You can't force that on people. That takes proper time. We've got a CXX coming over in 6 months' time. Different relationship, different meeting. Don't try and shove and shoehorn a C-level person, a very big company, into a QBR and they don't need to be there.
Great. I love that. Wheeling out the big guns for no reason at all. What's the value? Why are they there? What are they going to say? What are they going to do? And then what are they going to do after? It's not just a meet and greet.
As you said,
it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Love it. Most underrated skill for delivering a killer QBR?
One pager.
Brevity.
Yeah. One pager. Most businesses, if you said you got 10 minutes to prepare this one, most key account managers said, right, you got 10 minutes. We forgot we had a QBR in 10 minutes. Go prepare one pager that's got, challenges, opportunities, discussion points, future. They'd nail it. Good key account managers would. So yeah.
I'm going to add silence to that. I think silence forces the client to fill it. They'll do more talking if you just shut up. You don't have to fill the silence. You don't have to jump in every time something you got a thought in your head. Have you got a favorite unexpected question to ask during a QBR? Beyond, the obviously, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah. So we're sometimes very nervous about asking this question. How likely are you to review our contract?
Okay.
Speaking earlier about measuring, we should be measuring this on a regular basis.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to ask those blunt questions, but I'm a big fan of it. Sometimes clients ask for things and I'm like, listen, no can do. Sorry, this is why. Or, hey, I really want to make sure we renew at the end of the year. I know our contract's up in December. What do I need to, can we get the steps in motion now? What do I need to do to make sure that that's a no-brainer when the time comes? Why not ask the question? My favorite thing to ask is, I want to make sure that you look great to your boss at the end of the year. What is the biggest thing that you need to achieve to make sure you get your bonus, to make sure that you keep your boss happy? I'll do whatever I can to help you get there, because I want to know what's beyond just, even if it has nothing to do with me, I still want to know. Maybe I've got friends in the industry. Maybe I've done this in another capacity. Might be able to just offer them some free advice. Or if I come across something in the future, I've done that with many clients where I've just sent them a report. I'm like, oh, you mentioned you were doing that. Here's something I found on the internet. Little things. But I think that's my favorite in a business review. What's one word you'd use to describe a world-class QBR?
Clarity.
Clarity. I'm going to say actionable. Right. What's the one biggest takeaway you want our audience to leave with today when it comes to QBRs?
So the first one is go and have a look there. The second one is think about those building blocks. Think about those building blocks. What needs to be in there? What doesn't need to be in there? And what sits on top of it is that one pager that gives you stuff that's actionable, as you said earlier. That's brevity. Just all the building blocks that gives you that. You focus on that one pager that sits on top. Go and take a look at our site, and you'll see a wealth of information and education there about what good looks like.
Actually, you just reminded me. I have an article and a video on YouTube about, I think it's called "Your QBR is Boring," and just not so much about what goes in it, but just how to make it more interesting and exciting and kind of get people to join up. So check that out, guys. All right, Cam fam, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Cam Club podcast. Don't forget to check out the show notes. Don't forget to check out Clientshare website. Don't forget to download the research. I'll pop a link to all of that in the show notes. Don't forget to check out my video so your QBRs are no longer boring. And I'm going to see you in another episode real soon. And thanks so much, James, for joining me.